Chapter 1. What's actually happening to you? You've probably lost hours today. Not to your phone, not to Netflix, but to a world inside your head. A world so vivid, so emotionally satisfying, that real life keeps coming up short by comparison. Now that's not a character flaw. It's not laziness. It has a name. Maladaptive daydreaming. The term was coined in 2002 by Israeli psychologist Eli Somer, who described it as extensive fantasy activity that replaces human interaction and interferes with daily functioning. And while it's not yet listed in the DSM, hundreds of thousands of people search for it every month, because they know something is wrong, even if no one around them has a word for it. Here's what's happening neurologically. Your brain has learned that the fantasy world is safe. It's rewarding. It gives you control, connection, status, love, all the things real life can feel stingy with. Over time, daydreaming stopped being a casual escape and became your primary coping mechanism. Your brain now reaches for it automatically, the same way it reaches for food when you're stressed. The compulsive quality is key. Most maladaptive daydreamers don't just drift off. They are pulled in by triggers, a song, a particular room, the act of pacing, and once inside, stopping feels almost physically uncomfortable. Understanding this is step one. You're not broken. You've just built a very sophisticated coping mechanism that has outlived its usefulness. Chapter 2. Recognize your triggers and patterns. You can't interrupt a pattern you haven't mapped, so before you try to cut back, you need to become a scientist of your own behavior. For 1 week, keep a simple log. Every time you notice you've been daydreaming, note 3 things. What triggered it, what emotion preceded it, and how long it lasted. Common triggers include music, particularly songs tied to your daydream narratives, physical movement like pacing, lying in bed, being alone in a quiet room, or starting a boring task. Emotional triggers are usually some flavor of stress, rejection, boredom, loneliness, or low-grade anxiety. When you look at your log after a week, patterns will emerge. You might find that you almost always daydream after a frustrating and social interaction, or that your evenings are the most runnable time. That information is gold. One practical move, if a music is a trigger, is to replace it with podcasts or audiobooks during high-risk activities. A voice talking to you in a real, concentrated language keeps your mind tethered to the real world in a way that an instrumental track simply doesn't. The Mel Robbins Podcast. True crime, history, comedy, whatever keeps you engaged. The genre matters less than the anchoring effect. Chapter 3. Understanding what the daydream is giving you. This is the step most people skip, and it's why they fail. Maladaptive daydreaming is almost never random. Your fantasy world exists because it's solving a problem. It might be giving you the sense of being seen, loved, admired, or powerful. It might be replaying painful real-life events with a better ending. It might simply be the only place you feel safe enough to relax. Ask yourself honestly, what does my daydream world have that my real life doesn't? A connection? Confidence? A sense of purpose? Or maybe excitement? That answer isn't a source of shame, it's a roadmap. Because the goal isn't to destroy the part of you that needs those things. The goal is to find real-world pathways to meet those needs. If your daydreams are about deep friendship, that's telling you that you're lonely and that social connection is a genuine priority to invest in. If they're about achievement and recognition, that's pointing towards real work that matters to you. The daydream is a symptom. The unmet needs is the diagnosis. Researcher Eli Somer has also noted a strong overlap between maladaptive daydreaming and ADHD. Around 75% of MD sufferers show ADHD traits. If that's you, the daydreaming may also be serving as a source of stimulation your brain is genuinely craving. That changes the intervention. You may need to address the ADHD alongside the daydreaming, not instead of it. Chapter 4. Build a reality worth returning to. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. If real life is genuinely gray and unrewarding, willpower alone won't keep you out of your head. You need to make the real world more compelling. Now this doesn't mean your life needs to be extraordinary. It just means it needs to offer you something. Small doses of things your daydream world provides in abundance. Start with one area. If your daydreams center on connection, commit to one low-stakes social interaction per day. A conversation, a message, showing up to something. If they center on creativity or achievement, pick one real project and work on it for 20 minutes a day. The project doesn't have to be impressive. It has to be yours. Physical movement matters here too, but redirect it. Many maladaptive daydreamers pace as a trigger for entering their fantasy world. You can reclaim movement by exercising with audio content that keeps your attention in the external world. A podcast, a class, an audiobook, instead of music that pulls you inward. Also worth examining your environment. Certain rooms, certain times of day, certain objects may have become conditioned cues for daydreaming. Rearrange your space, change your daily routine, or simply move to a different location, for high-risk periods can disrupt the habit loop before it even starts. Chapter 5. Practical techniques to interrupt the loop. When you feel the pull beginning, you need a toolbox. Here are techniques drawn from CBT principles and lived experience from the MD community. The 5-second redirect. The moment you notice you're slipping in, physically move. Stand up, change rooms, say something out loud. This isn't about white-knuckling resistance, it's about breaking the physical state that's associated with daydreaming. Movement and vocalization snap you back into the present moment faster than willpower alone. Schedule daydreaming. Now this sounds counterintuitive, but it works. Give yourself a specific 15 to 20-minute window each day where you're allowed to daydream intentionally, with a timer. This serves two purposes. It reduces the scarcity panic that makes suppression backfire, and it begins to shift daydreaming from a compulsive habit into a choice, which is a fundamentally different relationship with the behavior. Cognitive restructuring. From CBT. When you catch yourself daydreaming, don't spiral into shame. Shame accelerates the cycle. You feel bad, you daydream to escape the feeling bad, and so on. Instead, neutrally note, I was daydreaming, that makes sense. What do I need to do right now? Then address the underlying need in some small, real-world way. Journaling the daydream. Writing down the content of your daydream, not to indulge it, but to examine it, creates distance. When it's on paper, it becomes material you can analyze rather than a world you're inside. Some people find this step alone, practiced consistently, gradually dissolves the emotional charge that makes the daydream so magnetic. Chapter 6. Getting support and thinking long-term. Maladaptive daydreaming, especially when it's been present for years, often has roots to trauma, anxiety, or chronic stress. If your daydreaming began in childhood as a response to a difficult environment, it was adaptive, then it protected you. Acknowledging that matters. For deeper work, a therapist familiar with dissociation, ADHD, or trauma-informed approaches can be genuinely useful. The community at the International Society for Maladaptive Daydreaming, ISMD, is also a real source. A place where people who understand this from the inside share research, strategies, and honest experience. Recovery from maladaptive daydreaming isn't linear, and for most people the goal isn't elimination, it's integration. Your imagination is not the enemy. The capacity to build rich inner worlds is genuinely a gift. The work is learning to direct it towards creative projects, towards empathy, towards a kind of visualization that pulls you forward in real life rather than away from it. The daydream told you what you wanted. It's your job. Go build it.